Hello and welcome to my little introduction to my roof tile family. I want to show you here what I have done. This is one family that's already finished, and I want to try to make it show you how I did it from scratch. This family is very practical for me. I'll just show you what it can do. It's a line-based family. I can put it on my roof like this. Just need to snap correctly. It snapped. So let's put some color on this. Okay, so this is just to emulate my outer roof layer. This is a plywood, and I want to model the tiles and how they come on top of the roof. So this family is flexible. I can decide the length of the stud here, and then I can also control where my tiles are starting. So if I want the whole row to be filled with tiles, I just change my offsets here, and bam. And I also put it on a stud like this, so I'll show you just in a second here in my section view. So this is the old family. What it can do, I can change the angle of the tiles, which is for me pretty useful. So now it's set to 6 degrees. Let's just try to change it to 12. See it's rotating here, or 40 degrees. But for most applications I find that 5 or 6 degrees is probably the most fitting. So that means that 2 rows of these will fit together. Let's just try to emulate that. Copy one here to here, something like this, and in 3D we get something like this. And we could be fancy and show a little bit. Let's say we want to not show the last one. I think it's about 300. Yeah. All right. So let me just go through the family and how I created it. So this was the old family. We'll just delete that, and this is a new one we are going to create. So this family, it doesn't have a color, it doesn't have materials, but I pre-made some of the things here. So this is my 3D tile. It's not really aligned to anything yet. I'll go through that later. And if we go into the 3D tile family, you can see how I made it. I simply took my tile from the supplier and made a profile based on these measurements, and then it's simply a sweep. If you see here, this is a sweep, and you can see my profile. This is a profile I made in a 2D profile, and then it's just swept along this family. So here, this is shape created. On top of my sweep, I made some void extrusions. You can see here how I'm controlling the cutoffs here, and also I created those little things for the tile to rest on top of the studs. Alright, so quite simple, but also a little, let's just fix it up now. So these materials are not joined, I'm gonna join them. So now it looks a little bit better. Let's also put some material on it. I created a nice burnt clay that I like. All right. Okay, this one is not joined, is it? So now the material is the same. Okay, let's just save this. And I just want to show you one little thing that I did. Yeah, so this was when I did my sweep. I based it on these drawings. That was what I wanted to show you, so I get the correct dimensions. All right. Let's load it into the project. This one. And yes, I would like to override it. Now comes a little tricky part, because this family, we need to flex it and we need to be able to rotate it, and that took me forever to find out. So if we move this, you'll see this family here is simply a line-based family, and I have created an extrusion that's symbolizing my wood. Let's just also put some material on that. Let's see, just find some wood. It's just a soft wood, I think. Let's take this basic one. I'll just use the render appearance. Alright, let's see how it looks in realistic. So one thing that I like to do with wood to show that in renders is that I like to show the end wood here. So I created some materials that include some end wood here, and what it is, it's simply a picture of an end piece of wood I have played with, and now I should be able to paint it. Yeah, select it, and let's paint it. See, I get these errors, but sometimes it's still working. Okay, so now I have some end wood here. Let's also do it to the other end. Just select the end. Oh, what happened? I don't know what's happening. It's here. This is not very...
會洗個鑊㗎。
Seems to be something wrong with my material. I've just spent so much time on these materials and they don't behave well. So I'm back again. I'm just fixing my materials, so now they are working better. There's just one thing I want to do here. I want to make this wood, the fibers of the wood are coming the wrong way. So I created a new type of with the oars coming that way. I don't know if you can see it, but it looks more natural now. It's what it looks like without the edges, maybe. Maybe we can do these and put these only on course. So.
Hvad siger du nu? Skal du slå pussen? Er der nogen strøm på din iPad? Du vil ikke se det? Ja. Tag mig til så. Nå. Der er runder på. Med tysses.
Okay. So, this is our line-based model. This is our wooden stud here. It's just a simple extrusion. So let me just go and put these. So I created these two reference planes to control where I want my tiles to be, and I've also created, if we go back to the 3D, I also created some parameters to control my wood stud. This is a standard size for Danish battens here, 38 by 74. But let's just check if it's working as it should. Just go 100 by 200 and see. You can see it works. So let's go back to the, what was it, 38 by 74, I think. Yeah, that looks about right. Let's go back to our reference plane, our reference level. Okay, so this is the setup for my my line-based family. We have the wood stud, or the batten, and we have some reference planes to control our roof tiles, where we want them to be, and from the left it looks like this. And I have also created here a reference line that is locked to this interception here, and I'm controlling its angle. So you can see the angle is controlled like this, so it's rotating. Alright, now we want to bring in our roof tile and fix it to the reference plane of this reference line. So let's see if we can do that. It's a little bit tricky, but and I've spent a lot of time understanding how this works, but I think I know it now. Okay, so let's go back to our other family here. So this is our tile. Let's load it into here. It's already loaded, okay, of course. So what will happen now is if we place the component, if I place it on the work plane, let's place it here and see what happens. If we look from the left view, you can see it's placed on the family's reference work plane. We want to put it on this work plane here, and that's quite tricky, but the way to do it is, if we go back into the family, is to make sure that this family out here, that it's work plane based, and it's not always vertical, because when this is crossed, it's impossible to rotate it. So make this work plane based. All right, we go back here. Now I want to pick a new reference plane for this. See, we can see our reference line here. So we say pick new work plane, and I hover on my reference plane on that line, so it's rotating. That's nice. Okay, there was a little interruption here. So you can see it's aligned to, it's attached to this work plane here. So let's move it to around the place where it would be natural for such a tile to sit. It's around here, maybe. Let's also try to flex the family a little bit. Let's bring it back to 6 degrees. And then we move it something like this. Let's just check it in 3D and see. Is it resting on? Let's just go close here. Yeah. Just need to rotate to this place here. It looks like it's sitting okay. Maybe it's a little bit too far down. You can see it's kind of cutting through the wood. So let's move it a little bit up. I think that was, yeah, something like that. Back to 3D. Yeah, let's keep it at here. And I'll go back to our floor plan. Now I want to align it so I can control. I want to align it with this one. And this is the first one. I'll lock it. And if I flex my offset, it should follow now. Let's check my offset. Yes, that is working fine. Okay. And now let's try to make an array of these so it fits with our distance between these. So I'll just select it, array it. And right now I just choose a random distance Oh no, I don't hope so. Yeah, maybe that's a problem. Maybe we need to go through another family. Let's see if this is flexing. Let me try to rotate my angle and see if it's working still. Nope. You can see it's only one of the tiles that is working now, and it also lost its association with the. So what we have to do now is to make another family in between these to array the tiles. So we do that. We make a new family, and I think we can use a normal metric family. Metric, where are you? Generic. Let's just take that one. And let's save this one and call it roof tile array. Okay, go back to my family. This one. This one. Okay. So now we simply make a simple array, we align it like that. We can also, better align it like that. And then let's make the array here. Random spacing again. Okay, back to my array here. This, where I say activate dimensions. Choose this one. I make a parameter called spacing. And I also want to control the distance from here to here. The distance. And the distance, I think it's 220 according to the brick supplier. So it will look like this. And then let's make a reference plane to here to control the distance. And measure. We call this L for length. Okay. So we made the spacing here. It should be called spacing actually. It should be called let's give it another one. It should be called number, because it's a number of tiles we want. We have the spacing here. So what we want so many tiles that it can fit with the length of this one. So it's quite simple to say we want the number to equal the length divided by the spacing. No, by the distance, because now I got confused. Yes. So if we stretch this reference plane, it stretches also and makes the array bigger. So I think this is fine now. Let's save it and bring it in to the next family. Okay, here we have it. I just put it here. I'm not sure which reference plane it is on now. It's on the wrong one. So let's do it again. Pick new host. And see, this is not possible right now. We have to go back into the family and say this family is work plane based. It's not always vertical. Apply it, load it back. Yeah. We try again to say pick new. Come on. I know you can do it. Now I need to say work plane. Yes, that looks almost right, huh? And let's go back to our left view and see if we can control the position a little bit better with the... No, I don't want to save now. I want to change the angle. And I want to select this and move it from this place to this place. Okay. And now I want to align this new instance to here. But I want this length here to be controlled by this reference plane in this family. So how do we do that? Well, I created a parameter here called length, and in this family I want to make this length here be controlled by the next family's parameter. So I do like this, and let's hope that it works. Yeah, but that was a full length, of course. So let's make another and call that one we call tile length, which is not really good English, but yeah, okay, that's not, I can't control that because that's already controlled by some others. So yeah, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna have this and say this length here Gonna make a new, let's call it tile array, and that is equal to the length minus the left offset minus right offset. It needs to be an instance in this case. That's fine. No, it's not fine. Yeah. And I edit this one, and the length is now the tile array. Hope this works now. Yes, thank you. So now in this family, if everything works correctly, I should be able to control where my tiles start. Let's just put it to 0 and 0, and they should come. See, something funny happened here. Still not totally. 100. Just want to move this a little bit. And then I want to align it and lock it. Okay. Let's check again, go back to 0. Now it seems to be working. Okay. So let's say I want to, for some strange reasons, I want to start the tiles here and end them there. That's fine. It is working. Let's check from the left view if my angle is controlled. If that's working fine. Let's try a crazy angle here. It's working. Go back to 5. Yes. And what we could also do, we could also take this offset and make it a parameter and say tile offset, and let's make it an instance as well. So that way I should be able to control how high up. Let's say I'm changing my my batten here to a very tall type. Let's say it's a 75 tall. And now, of course, the tile doesn't fit, so it should be, I can control it and say, so that will be like 39 plus 45. Is that correct? Nah, not totally. It's more like, you get the idea. Let's change it back to 38. And 30. Fine, something like that. Save it. And our materials are working. a final little thing that might be nice to be able to control. I don't know. Is it controllable? Nah, not really. But I could also decide that I wanted to change the spacing just a few millimeters between the tiles. But I'll just keep it as it is. And let's bring it into the big family here. And yes, we want to override it. So now this is our newly created family. Let's see if the materials are looking nice. So this looks like plywood. This looks like a batten. I'm not so happy with this material. Why is it bugging? But anyway, you get the point here. So let's make this line longer, and let's say we don't want an offset. We want. So now I'll show you what I wanted to show you. The reason for this family. See, when we have a mansard roof like this, it's coming from a low slope to a very high slope, and then sometimes down here it slopes a little outwards again. And what I really like about these old roofs is that it gives this nice organic shape, and in a normal Revit model you can't really see that because everything is so line based. So let's try to emulate that we have a series of these. The spacing is about 330, I think. Okay, bugger. I need to select multiple. $330. And here comes a little neat thing here. That. And now this is not so neat, of course. I need to go back to my 3D view. I need to create similar, and then this is line based, so it's following the surfaces of this plywood. Okay, let's go back to this view, and let's just play a little bit with this and see if we can fit it. So now I can use my family to make these tiles adapt to this angle here. Just in a minute I'll show you. Let's just build this here. And one more just for fun. Okay. Alright. So let's see if we can change the angle here and make it look a little bit nicer. So I made this as an instance parameter, so I can change it for each instance of my family. And I think we need quite a lot of angle here. That was too much. Something like this, 19, maybe 16. And since this one is coming up a little bit, it will also lift this one a little bit up. And that's what's so cool about this. So we get this round, nice, organic shape that we are looking for. Maybe that's a bit too much still. Alright, so let's go to 3D and see what it looks like. And that, my friends, is one of the families I made this semester. Thank you for watching, and I'll be back with another family tutorial.